Let's work on finishing the villain's initial attack. So at this point, our villain is now ready to strike. When choosing timing, it's a good idea to, of course, use reference, either videotape yourself, or if you can find something online, something that will be near to the action that you would like to see in your animation. That will, again, help you to get realistic timing and gestures. But along that note, we also want to keep in mind the chemistry between the two characters. Again, the red character is very upset, about to make her attack. And the blue character is just waiting for the right time to put the red character to rest. So I'll go back and select the controls of our villain, Fem2. And the actual swing is going to happen on frame 11. So let's go there. I want to translate her forward some more. Remember, she's moving at an angle, a slight angle to her right. So we'll need to keep that in mind. Make sure that our flow is consistent. That way, when we smooth out the action, there's very little of that to tweak. The blocking pass that you'll take for each animation is always the most important. If you spend more time blocking, you will not have to spend so much time refining the animation afterwards. So I'd say it's about 80%, 70-80% blocking on all performances, and then the rest of that is spent polishing. That goes to show you how important blocking is. But again, we'll have the character translate forward a bit more. Now she's ready to take her swing. So for this, we'll want her left foot to go ahead and get ready to plant on the floor. So we're going to bring that down. I'll grab all of the controls again. Translate her down a bit more. Remember, this is on frame 11. So that toe is now hitting the floor. We could also have the foot rotate kind of up. And what I'm doing is actually planting the rotation of the feet. You can go to the x-axis, zero that out, and the z-axis also, and just kind of rotate the foot in a bit more. But the reason why I'm doing that is so I can use the toe roll control to have the foot roll up. That way when she lands, it's just as simple as rotating this back to a value of 0. And we get the exact pivot we need from that foot when it plants. Alright, so I'll now go back to the foot control and just bring that down to the floor a bit more. Now for the back foot, we're going to want that to, of course, swing back a bit more, considering the momentum and the action that has happened before. So that naturally will swing back. We'll want to bring the knee down. Remember to always think about exaggeration and what would make your pose exciting. Let's go ahead and bring that foot down. For the center of gravity, we'll want to straighten that up some more. And then rotate it down for the swing. For the hips, because of the legs open as they are, we'll want to rotate the hips out. Now for the chest, that's going to start rotating forward because of her attack. Let's go ahead and work on the attack. So we'll just scrub back and forth. Get an idea of the flow of the animation. Great. So for that right arm, going to want to bring that forward. Then we're going to want to rotate the wrist. So that she has made her swing. Okay, great. Then at that point, we can go ahead and bring the arm forward. The shoulder, of course, will need to be brought forward. She's going to extend that arm. So we'll need to make sure we straighten that arm out. A bit more there. And make sure, again, this is a threatening attack, so we'll want to bring this sword closer to the blue character. And then she is going to, at this point, step over to the side to deflect the attack. Alright, so of course we're going to need to adjust the head. This pose needs to be tweaked, so let's go ahead and take the neck and kind of move that over, rotate it over, and then the head rotated again at the red character's target. Very nice. Let's take a look at this. Okay, great. She needs to keep her balance. Let's go ahead and select all of our controls again. We'll deselect the feet, or the foot that is planted, and then just go ahead and translate her over a bit more to keep her in balance. Then of course we'll need to go back to our arm control. So it's just a matter of going back and forth until you get the pose exactly the way you want it. Let's go to that opposite arm. The left arm, we'll want to bring that out and back. Remember, considering the flow of things. Okay, so we'll want to have that swing back. The wrist to rotate back also. In a very artistic way also, we want to keep that in mind too. Not just achieving a realistic pose, but how to make it very appealing. So we can have that kind of flow back and the wrists rotate up slightly. And you can see how the fingers are spread. Now, the fingers are interesting because we may not need to tweak them for a majority of the animation simply because the action is going to happen so fast. It might be a waste of time to animate the fingers, but that all depends on your shot camera. So if you notice that the fingers are going to be visible, well then chances are you're going to want to spend more attention on them, of course. But still, we want to find at least a good pose to keep them through the entire animation with. That way, if we have time to go back and animate the fingers, it won't take too much time because we've already considered a really nice pose for the hand. Now you can see I've added that on frame 13. No problem at all. I'll simply middle click on frame 11, press the S key to lock the pose in, go back to 13, right click, and delete the key. Alright, so she's taken her swing, and now we can have her land. So keeping in mind the action, it's also a good idea to hit play. Okay, great. We can now go ahead and have her kind of land on frame 15. So again, we'll go back to all of our controls. We'll deselect the planted foot because we're going to want to keep that in place. Now we can have her translate forward and over. Great. Then at this point, we can start to plant the feet. So I'll go back to the left foot, go to the toe control. On frame 15, we'll want to zero that out. And then for the right foot, that's going to, of course, swing forward and plant. So let's go to our x-axis, rotate that up, and then zero it out. We'll also zero out the z-axis. And then open up the foot and the y-axis, just rotating that out some more. Now for the hips, they're going to rotate in the opposite direction. Opposite where they were before, of course, because of the right leg now moving forward. Then the knee we'll also want to bring in. And we'll also want to arc the back some more. So on frame 15, we'll go to the center of gravity and kind of rotate that down. And do the same thing for the chest. Just kind of rotate that. Grab the back control. Rotate it down. And then bring the character down some more. Really squash this pose to add some more exaggeration. Now naturally, with the upper body as low as it is, the left heel is going to move up, so we'll want to take the ball control and kind of rotate that up. so the foot is not in an unnatural position. Now for the shoulder, that right shoulder, going to want to kind of rotate that back and open it up. So it was in a very weird spot, a very unnatural spot, so we need to fix that. Now the sword hand, well, that's going to be brought down after the attack for follow through. So this post is really coming together. Let's stop the lesson here and finish the enemy's initial attack in the next lesson.